What if the most important decision you make in business is the one that costs you the most? In Project Hail Mary, Ryan Gosling's Ryland Grace isn't a typical hero. He's a teacher, a scientist, and someone who didn't even choose the mission willingly. But across the film, every choice he makes, from refusing the mission to ultimately turning back, builds a powerful truth. Success isn't about solving one problem. It's about deciding what you're willing to sacrifice next. Let's break it down. Number 10. You don't need to be ready to be responsible. Grace initially refuses to join the mission when Strat asks him. He knows the stakes, and he still says no.
I'm not an astronaut.
If you don't go, you die. With the rest of us.
But when he wakes up on the ship, he has no choice. In business, responsibility doesn't wait for readiness. It arrives, and you either grow into it or fall behind it. Number 9. The biggest projects are built on incomplete information. When scientists first discover the Petrova line and astrophage, no one fully understands it, yet the entire mission is launched anyway. That's how most real decisions work. In business, waiting for perfect clarity is often the riskiest move of all. Number 8. Your breakthrough today becomes your dependency tomorrow. Astrophage solves one problem. It becomes the fuel that makes the mission possible. But later, that same dependency becomes a vulnerability when it starts disappearing. In business, every advantage you build can become a future risk if you rely on it too heavily. Number 7. Collaboration multiplies outcomes faster than individual brilliance. When Grace meets Rocky, everything changes. Individually, they're limited. Together, they solve problems neither could handle alone, from communication to engineering solutions. In business, partnerships done right don't just add value, they multiply it. Number 6. Pause here. This is the decision that defines everything. Grace has the solution. He can save Earth. He can go home. But he realizes Rocky will die if he does. So answer this. Would you complete your mission or sacrifice it to save your partner? Comment mission or partner and explain why. Because this is where values become real. Number 5. Systems break when conditions change, not when they're designed. Everything works perfectly until the Talmoba evolve and start consuming the fuel. The system didn't fail because it was poorly built. It failed because the environment changed. In business, resilience isn't about perfection. It's about adaptability. Number 4. Innovation requires iteration, not perfection. Grace doesn't solve the Talmoba problem instantly. He experiments, fails, adjusts, and refines until it works. That's the real process. In business, innovation is rarely a breakthrough. It's a sequence of corrections. Number 3. Incentives shape decisions more than intentions. Strat doesn't ask Grace to join the mission. She forces him onto it, not because it's fair, but because the outcome matters more than the process.
I understand the stakes. I do. My place is in the classroom.
The world is counting on you.
In business, leaders often make decisions based on outcomes, but how you get there defines your culture. Number 2. The hardest decisions don't feel logical, they feel personal. When Grace decides to turn back for Rocky, it's not a strategic calculation, it's a human one. In business, the decisions that define you aren't always the most efficient. They're the ones aligned with who you are. Number 1. The best outcomes aren't always the ones you planned. Grace doesn't return to Earth. He doesn't complete the mission the way it was designed. Instead, he builds a new life, teaching Iridian children. knowing he still made a difference. That's the real lesson. Success isn't always reaching your original goal. Sometimes it's choosing the outcome you can live with. Project Hail. Mary isn't just a story about saving Earth. It's about choosing what matters when everything is at stake. For founders, leaders, and operators, the takeaway is simple. You don't just solve problems. You define yourself through the decisions you make while solving them. So here's the question worth reflecting on. What are you prioritizing right now that your future self will have to justify? If this changed how you think, share it with someone building something meaningful, and subscribe to BizAdMov, where great films become better business decisions.
I'm Grace. I'm gonna call
Because
you
in
Rocky.
the end,
Thumbs up.
your strategy might
No,
get you there,
that's thumbs down.
but your
We did the
decisions
thumbs
decide
up.
who you become.
It's close enough.